Hello! So, I didn't get a chance to record a discussion section after my Spy Family Season 3 Episode 8 reaction, so I'm just doing a little snippet now to get out some of my thoughts because there was a lot to unpack that episode. Just get out some of my thoughts that I wanted to say during the episode. So, Billy's backstory was, I think, roughly what I expected. Just very tragic, and he ended up taking on the idealism that his daughter actually picked up from him, from the values that he had instilled into her. But then he eventually took it too far. The Red Circus being a student movement that evolved after being violently suppressed, despite being a peaceful movement initially, really does parallel a lot of real life. And I love that the show has been diving into these sorts of things, these sorts of topics this season, with how it addressed aspects of war and what it does to people earlier in the season, and now how violent oppression of peaceful movements will cause the ones left behind to try to avenge them, and in an eye for an eye fashion, and radicalize them. I really do feel bad for Billy. He is a victim of circumstance, and it makes sense that he ended up being the way that he was. And he didn't get any kind of retribution as well. The way the State Security Service acted in this episode really shows that things haven't really changed, and any change that Billy wanted to enact hasn't happened. Although it seems even within the State Security Service, there's some discord in how certain things are handled, so who knows. Like, you had those guys who were on the scene who wanted to just storm the bus, and then you had the guys in another division that was like, let's not be too hasty, and let's not just go guns a-blazing. And then the initial guys going, oh, those lapdogs of politicians. So even within the State Security Service, there is very different approaches. Like I was saying last episode, there's very different approaches to the how we protect our country, and in the case of, at least in the last episode, it was how do we protect our people and how do we protect our country. It was two different approaches. But yeah, the State Security Service, they just do what they want, and it's just almost kind of the Wild West, really. And the way they handled it this episode is probably the same thinking as it happened with when Biddy was part of the Red Circus, when Biddy was alive. By the way, can't believe that we saw just a charred corpse in this episode. It was so dark, really. And the way you could see just Billy's world being turned upside down, and Billy just, when it goes into this red filter and then it just becomes solid red, that's his change. But yeah, that was just the approach that they were going to take even when it was a peaceful movement, and now it's the same approach they're taking when it's a violent movement. And Billy, he might have gone too far in this instance, and we don't know what else he may have done. And I get that they are the bad guys because they have bus-jacked a bus. They've hijacked a bus full of children, innocent children. But it's something that we have to realise why this sort of thing happens. And it's something that can very easily happen to a lot of people. And yeah, we have to know why these things happen, and learn, and changes need to be made to make sure that this sort of thing doesn't happen again. This sort of thing doesn't happen just because some guy woke up one day and was just going, oh, let's make a group and let's destroy the country. Let's kidnap a bus full of children. They didn't just wake up one day and just decide to do that. And in this instance, it's something like, if you're going to violently oppress us even when we're being peaceful, then what's the point in being peaceful? And the State Security Service have learned nothing. And it's the same, and their methods are the same, the attitude is the same. Just, yeah. But Anya getting through to Billy by channeling the idealism of his daughter was just gold. I'm also glad that it did end up being the kids who got themselves out of the situation rather than fully relying on the adults. Although the Yuri side did help with things, and Henry, Master Henderson, and Martha, they helped as well. But it was ultimately Anya and the attitude of the kids that ended up breaking through to Billy. And yeah, it was just another quite heavy episode and just very, very good. I love that the show doesn't shy away from going dark. It's a show that's ultimately set on the backdrop of a Cold War following actual war, and it doesn't try to hide away from it. It's like these topics will inevitably crop up, especially with the the concept of the show. These topics are going to happen, are going to crop up. Just these ghosts from the war, as Handler said in a previous episode. But yeah, very, very good episode, very, very good arc. Really enjoyed it.